Hello guys, welcome back. Today in this video, we'll see how we can create an EBS volume and attach it into the EC2 instances using Terraform. And then we'll see how we can mount that volume to use it. So let's start. So here I have created one ec2.tf Terraform file where I have used the resource AWS underscore instance to create one EC2 instances. Okay, so you know very well how we can create the EC2 instances using the Terraform. So here I have used the Ubuntu AMI and instance type is G2 micro and availability zone I have selected as 1. So I have also attached a key pair to access the system and show you how we can mount that volume. And in our last video, I have shown you how we can create a key pair and attach to the EC2 instances. So now let's just focus on the EBS volume. So let's see how we can create the EBS volume. So let me write it down, the resource block to create the EBS volume. So what I'm going to do is resource AWS underscore EBS underscore volume. So here the co-pilot is giving me, suggesting me what the code should be. So let me use this one, but I have to modify this file. So here I don't need all these things because I'm not using the variables here. So let me just remove this entire things now. So here also I have to use the availability zone. What I can do, I can use AP hyphen South 1A. So this is the Asia Pacific Mumbai one, right? So 1A availability zone I used. Now I need to specify the size. So EVS volume. So what is the amount of volume you need, right? The storage, the capacity you want to use. So I can just use suppose 30 gigabytes. Okay. So this size should be in GB, whatever you are giving, and type. So you have to specify what type of volume you need to give, whether GP2, GP3, whatever it is. And just I gave a tag here. The tag I've given it as my EBS volume. Okay, so this is what, and this life cycle and all these things are not required. So leave it now. Okay, so this is what the minimum things I just added to create the volume. Okay, now the volume is created. So how we can attach that volume? So for that, we have to write another resource block, which is called this AWS volume, AWS underscore volume underscore attachment. Okay, so I'm just going to give a name here, demo underscore volume underscore attach. Okay, I just modified it. Okay, so whatever Copilot had suggested, I just modified on my own coding, right? So here it says like the device name. So what we have to specify? We have to specify the device name as /dev /sdh in the instances and the volume ID. So whatever the volume, because the volume ID, whatever the volume we created, right? So we need that volume ID to attach into the EC2 instances. So here is the whatever the volume will create as part of this resource block, right? So that I'm getting it over here, like AWS underscore EBS volume dot EBS volume, the name of the resource block, and then the ID. So it will get the volume ID. And then, so once we get the volume ID, then we have to add it into the EC2 instances, right? We have to attach it. So to attach it, what we have to do, you can just use this instance underscore ID, which instance ID you are going to attach it. And then what you have to do, AWS underscore instance, this one will get it. And it gives the my underscore instance. So this is the name of the instance you have created, right? In the ec2.tf file. So you have to provide this one. So here is my ec2. Now we have to modify that file because this is given by the Copilot, right? So we have to give it as my ec2. So let's go here, use my ec2 dot id. Okay, my ec2 dot id. Let's save this file. So what we did, we just added the volume ID which is created, and this volume ID we attached into this EC2 instances, and it will get this EC2 whatever it will be created as part of this Terraform file. Now let's go ahead and execute this Terraform file. Right, Terraform apply. So directly I'm using Terraform apply, so no need of planning. So if you want to see what are the things you are going to execute, you can plan it, or else just apply, and there you can verify and then press yes. Okay, just wait for a second. Now just press yes and hit enter. So now you can see it has added 5 resources. Okay, now let's log into the AWS console and check it out whether it has created, and all the details you will see there. And then I'll show you how we can connect to the backend to the Linux machine, and then we'll mount the volume. Okay, so if I go to the instances running, so let's check it out. So you can see here demo EC2 instance, right? This is what we just created, right? Now let's go ahead and select this one, and you'll see here this is what the public IP of this EC2 instances. So if I go to the storage section, you'll find 2 devices, right? One is the root volume, the default volume, it will be added there, and the another one which we created, the EBS volume, right? See here, we have 2 volumes added here. One is the default volume, the root volume with default size of 8 gigabyte, and the other one, the EBS volume we created, that is of 30 gigabytes, right? And it is attached. Both of them are attached, right? Now, what I will do, let's go ahead and connect to the Linux machines in the backend. So if I go here and connect to the machine, so the key is used as tf new key, right? And so it is Ubuntu machine, so I have to use Ubuntu as the default user, and the IP address. Yes. So I connected to the machine. Now let me just use the command called lsblk to list out the block devices, right? So here it is. Now we can see the default device which is 8 gigabyte, and the device which we created is 30 gigabytes. So that is the disk, right? So what we have to do, we have to create the partitions out of this device, right? File system we have to create. So for that, what we can do, we can use sudo make file system mkfs -t, then use the extensions like ext4 and the partitions, right? Extensions for I'm going to use, and the device, suppose dev, I can use xvdh, right? So now hit enter. So what happened here? Sorry, I did a wrong here. So xvdh, right? xvdh. So hit enter. Now you can see it just created a file system 4K block, right? Here we have used a 4K block. So it created the file system of 4K blocks. So what we can do now, so we created the file system. Now we have to add that file system or mount that to a directory, where which directory you want to use it. So if you have a directory already created, you can go ahead and mount it. If not, then you can just use mkdir and create the directory. So let me just go to my opt directory, and here let me see if nothing is there, right? So no directory there. So I can just create a directory here, sudo mkdir. Suppose I'm just using this DevOps directory over here. I created a DevOps directory, right? So let's go here, DevOps directory. Fine. So I want this directory to be mounted, right? What I have to do now, let's use sudo mount. Now the device you have to mount. So the partition, right? I'm going to use this dev xvdh. This is the device. This is the mount I'm going to create it, and the directive where you want to mount it, right? Hit enter. So now you can see this is now mounted. It's very simple, single command, right? So now list the block now, ls lsblk use. See, now we have this partition, right? Used this opt def. Now what you can do, whatever file if you want to create or any data you want to store it, you can store under this directory. So what will happen, this file systems use 30 gigabytes. So now this directory has been attached or mount to this particular volume and of 30 gigabytes. Any storage or anything you can store it over here. It's kind of in, if you Windows sections, it will give different drives, right? D drive, C drive, right? Of different volume sizes. Similarly, here we can just mount it to a different devices. Fine. So if I use df-h to check the disk space, right, free disk spaces. Now we can see here the where it is mounted on. This is mounted on here. Mount point. We can see this one. This mounted on this, and 1% is used out of 30 gigabytes. 28 gigabytes are available. Right. Good. So now you saw how we can create one EBS volume and attach to the EC2 instances, and then how we can mount it to use it. So you can, in this path direct, you can add whatever you want. Hope you understood clearly how to create EBS volume and mount it. If you have any doubt or any concerns, please do write me in the comment section below. I'll try to answer your queries. If you have not yet subscribed my channels, please do subscribe now so that you'll get notified when I add more videos in my channel. Thank you.